Mir, the national jewel of Belarus. The ancient town of Mir, which is over 600 years old, got its unique name from the nearby river known as the Miranka. The town is first mentioned in old chronicles at the close of the 14th century, when, towards the end of winter 1395, having failed to take Novogrudok, Teutonic knights under the command of Grand Master Konrad von Jungingen besieged and burnt down Mir and Lida. That was how Mir made it to the pages of history. Yet even today it's not known who founded the town, as it changed hands so often over the years of its existence. At the end of 16th, beginning of 17th centuries, Mir was bulwarked and turned into a fortress. At that time, one could only get into the town through one of the 4 gates. Proud and mighty does this town stand. 4 gates of stone lead into it. Rich are the houses of its dwellers. In those times, the town dwellers were mostly into farming and cattle breeding. But already in the first half of the 18th century, Mir turns into a town of craftsmen, working in over 60 various trades. It was populated by Belarusians, Jews, Russians, Tatars and Gypsies, and most often nationality determined the profession. Among the Mir craftsmen, one could find coppers, cart makers, leather workers, local smiths and glass blowers were known far beyond the borders of the great Duchy of Lithuania. Tradesmen from all over Belarus, Poland and Russia were coming to Mir's old markets. The multinational character of the town helped shape a very special way of life. An Orthodox and a Catholic church, a synagogue and a mosque peacefully coexisted on the town's market square. In 1579, Mir was granted partial rights under Magdeburg law. The Holy Trinity Troitskaya Church in Mir has a long and interesting history. It was founded as far back as 1550 as a wooden temple and was rebuilt several times in the course of the centuries. The church, as we can see today, was built in 1865 in pseudo-Russian style. At the end of the 16th, beginning of the 17th centuries, Duke Radziwiłł Sirotka had a St. Nicholas Catholic Church built in Mir. At first, it was all wooden, but already in 1605, it was rebuilt in stone. The church was destroyed and restored many times, and today looks very different to its original design. The three-aisled basilica combines features of Gothic and Renaissance architecture. Its main facade is complete with a mighty-looking, square-cut, 4-storied defensive tower. As Jews settled down in Mir in the 18th century, a unique architectural complex begins to emerge. It was completed by the beginning of the 20th century and included Mir Yeshiva, an educational establishment of theological character, 2 synagogues and a school. Built in the classical style, Mir Yeshiva was founded in 1815 and existed until 1939. Up to 500 students from all over Europe studied there. Lives and work of some of the most outstanding Talmudists and Torah students are connected with it. Today, Mir is well known far beyond the borders of Belarus, primarily thanks to a major historical and architectural landmark, a medieval castle that, back in 2000, was included into the UNESCO World Heritage List. Mir Castle is a unique specimen of Belarusian architecture. It was built by Duke Yuri Ilyinich at the beginning of the 16th century on the site of a homestead that existed here in the 15th century. The first stage of construction works lasted from 1522 to 1527. The castle has a 4-squared shape, largely formed by high towers protruding beyond the line of the castle walls. The 5th tower housed the gates, had a drawbridge and a portcullis, a metal grille that could effectively prevent an unexpected assault. All of the towers are similar in their outline. They have a square base with an octagonal upper portion. Each tower had a number of murder holes running along the top. Through them, the defenders could pour tar or boiling water onto the attacking troops. The castle was well adapted to be defended with firearms. Its walls were guarded by 2 lines of loopholes, and the towers had the structures necessary to house heavy cannons. The walls and towers of the castle were made of bricks and huge stones that over the time turned into an impenetrable barrier between the inhabitants of the castle and Moranding armies. The defense characteristics of the castle depended not only on its walls and towers, but on the fighting platforms as well. They were intended for archers and musketeers. The platforms were connected to the towers with special passageways. But all this strength was not enough. There was another line of spiritual defense. The white and red patterns of the walls reminded of the sacral ornamentations on the traditional ritual towels. One more protective amulet was a stone shaped as a ram's head built into the wall. In 1568, the Mir castle was acquired by the Radziwill family, who at the end of the 16th century, beginning of the 17th century, completed the castle in Renaissance style. A 3-storied palace with deep basements, cornices and balconies was built along the eastern and northern castle walls. After the devastating Northern War, the restoration works here were completed only by 1730. Now the castle had a stateroom, a portrait gallery and a dance hall.
Здесь появляются парадный зал, портретная галерея, зал для танцев.
The palace was bulk-walked, with bastions placed in each corner and surrounded by a water-filled moat. An Italian garden was laid out to the north of the bulk-walks, and later an artificial lake appears to the south of the castle walls. In 1891, the Mir Castle was bought by Duke Nikolai Svyatopolk Mirsky, who spared much effort to restore the castle to its former grandeur after the years of decline and neglect. In 1904, architect Robert Marfeld built a burial chapel of the Svyatopolk Mirsky family in the park. Designed in the modernist style, the chapel is placed within the surrounding landscape to a great artistic effect, while its impressive outlines perfectly agree with those of the medieval castle. Today, the town of Mir, with its famous castle, is one of the centers of cultural life in Belarus. Each summer, the castle hosts a popular musical festival with participation of outstanding Belarusian and foreign artists and bands. Nature and art, ancient history and present are found here in a harmonious combination, making Mir and its castle a real jewel among the treasures of the national Belarusian culture.